When a top restaurant chef refused to cook for Baron Trump, the entire dining room froze. But what Barron did next left everyone speechless and changed the chef's life forever. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories. In the comments, let us know where you're watching this story from. The buzz in the air was palpable that evening at Le Reverie, the city's most exclusive fine dining establishment. It was the kind of place where the scent of truffle oil mingled with aged wines and whispered conversations, where crystal glasses sparkled under the chandelier light. Tonight, the tables were filled with the city's elite, politicians, socialites, and business magnates. But then, the quiet hum of refined chatter stopped, replaced by a ripple of murmurs. Heads turned toward the entrance as the maitre d' hurriedly made his way to the kitchen, his face pale. Baron Trump just walked in. He whispered to the head chef, Lorenzo Bianchi, his voice trembling. "He's here with his security team." Lorenzo froze. His hand hovered over a pan of simmering sauce, the rich aroma filling the room. The young Trump's arrival wasn't just news. It was an event. Barron's presence, a symbol of fame and controversy, turned even the most mundane moments into headlines. "No," Lorenzo said quietly, his voice sharp and resolute. The sous chef, Marina, blinked in confusion. "No? What do you mean, chef?" "I'm not serving him," Lorenzo replied, his jaw tightening. His eyes remained fixed on the pan, but the room felt like it had dropped 10 degrees. "Chef," Marina whispered, glancing at the bustling dining room through the kitchen's swinging doors. "You can't refuse him. This is Baron Trump we're talking about. This could ruin us." Lorenzo's voice was like a blade. "I don't care. I won't do it." The dining room was alive with speculation. Guests craned their necks, whispering furiously. "Isn't that Baron Trump?" one woman asked her table companion. "Yes, but why hasn't anyone taken his order yet?" Seated at a corner table, Baron's tall frame seemed to command attention without effort. His Secret Service agents stood nearby, their faces unreadable, their gazes scanning the room. Barron himself appeared calm, his fingers idly tapping his phone screen. But as minutes passed, even he began to sense the tension. In the kitchen, the staff gathered in hushed chaos around Lorenzo. "Chef, you can't just refuse service," Marina pleaded. "This is insane. Do you know what this will do to your reputation?" Lorenzo's hand trembled as he gripped the edge of the counter. "I don't expect you to understand," he said quietly. The restaurant manager, Victor, stormed in, his face flushed with panic. "Lorenzo, what the hell is going on?" "Baron Trump's team is asking why his table hasn't been served." Lorenzo's reply was firm. "Tell them we're unable to accommodate him tonight." Victor's jaw dropped. "Do you have any idea what you're saying? This could destroy us. Social media is already blowing up." He shoved his phone toward Lorenzo, where tweets and live streams of the unfolding drama were spreading like wildfire. Hashtag Baron Trump denied service. Chef refuses to cook for Trump's son at top restaurant. Outrageous or justified? Lorenzo didn't even glance at the phone. "Let them post what they want," he muttered, but his hands shook as he wiped them on his apron. Outside, the tension reached a breaking point. One of Barron's agents approached Victor, his voice low but commanding. "Why is the kitchen refusing service?" "Mr. Trump demands an explanation." Victor stammered, sweat beading on his forehead. "I'll get back to you. Please give me a moment." The guests watched with wide eyes, their curiosity mounting. At the table, Barron leaned back in his chair. His calm blue eyes scanned the room as he whispered to the agent closest to him. "Let me handle this." Inside the kitchen, Lorenzo's breathing was ragged. Marina approached him cautiously. "Chef, what's really going on? This isn't like you." Lorenzo's shoulders sagged. "Do you remember the protests outside City Hall 3 years ago?" Marina frowned. "Of course. It was all over the news." Lorenzo's voice cracked. My younger brother was there." He paused, swallowing hard. "He got caught in the chaos. A stray bullet. Wrong place, wrong time." The room fell silent. "It's not Barron's fault," Lorenzo admitted, his eyes glistening. "But his family's name, their politics, it's a reminder I can't escape." "I see him," and all I feel is the pain of losing my brother." Marina's heart ached for him, but she couldn't ignore the chaos outside. "Chef, I understand, but this isn't the way. He's just a kid." The kitchen doors swung open, and everyone froze. Barron Trump stepped in, his tall frame commanding yet unassuming. The hum of the kitchen appliances was the only sound as he approached Lorenzo. "Chef Bianchi," Barron said, his tone polite but firm. "I understand you've refused to serve me. May I ask why?" Lorenzo's throat tightened. The boy's calm demeanor only made the situation harder. "It's personal," Lorenzo said finally. "You've done nothing wrong, but I can't. I just can't." Barron tilted his head, studying the chef with a mix of curiosity and empathy. "If I've offended you in some way, I'm sorry," he said sincerely. "But holding on to pain won't bring anyone back. I'm not my family. I'm just me." Lorenzo's chest tightened. The boy's words hit like a sledgehammer. His grief had consumed him for so long, blinding him to reason. The dining room buzzed with speculation as Barron exited the kitchen. He signaled to his team, his voice steady. "We're leaving." Gasps rippled through the crowd. An elderly woman at a nearby table wiped a tear. "He handled that with such grace," she murmured. As Barron walked out, he paused by the maitre d'. "Tell Chef Bianchi." He hesitated, then smiled faintly. "I hope he finds peace." That night, Lorenzo sat alone in his small apartment. On the table before him was a worn photograph of his brother, laughing in a soccer jersey. Tears streamed down Lorenzo's face as he whispered, "I'm sorry, Marco. I let my grief turn me into someone I'm not." The next morning, Lorenzo arrived at the restaurant to find an envelope waiting for him. Inside was a handwritten note. "Chef Bianchi, I don't know your story, but I could see you were hurting. I hope you find peace. We all carry something, but letting go can be freeing. Take care, Barron." Lorenzo's hands trembled as he read the letter. The boy he had refused to serve had shown more understanding and grace than he ever expected. Later that day, Lorenzo called a staff meeting. His voice shook as he addressed them. "What I did last night was wrong. I let my pain cloud my judgment, and I hurt someone who showed nothing but kindness. I want to apologize, not just to him, but to all of you." The staff exchanged glances, some nodding, others wiping tears. 2 days later, Barron returned to the restaurant, this time without fanfare. He approached Lorenzo in the kitchen. "Chef," Barron said, extending a hand. Lorenzo hesitated, then clasped the boy's hand firmly. "Thank you," he whispered. "For what?" Barron asked. "For reminding me what forgiveness looks like." Barron smiled. "We're all human, Chef." Subscribe to our channel for soul-stirring stories.